Hey all, Brian Pratt here. So I'm gonna tell you another story. So, a night like the gods have unleashed the rains upon this village. It was raining hard. What someone I call a frog strangler, the kind that would send houses floating down the river. Nobody was moving. Most of the townsfolk were at the local inn called the Crooked River, and they were there, kind of gathered to weather the storm. Food was flowing. A few of them had set up off to one side with some music to keep everybody's spirits up. Well, during the evening, the door opens up. This young kid walks in. No one's ever seen this kid before. Young, gangly kid, 18, maybe 18, 17. Though it's raining outside, he's not wet. He pulls his hood back, and then they see this gangly kid. Looks like he's never shaved in his life. He's got this long staff, wooden staff that he kind of walks with. It's a little bit taller than himself, and he pauses there in the foyer as he surveys the common room. Everyone pauses what they're doing, looks because it's something new, and they dismiss it and they go about their business. And but before you know it, the music's playing again and everyone's talking, and the kid spies an empty table off in one corner, so he heads over in that direction. The barmaid sees him, and by the time he gets there, she's right there. Hi, how you doing? Welcome to our village. How can I help you? And he says, well, I would like an ale and whatever the special is. It smells pretty good. The aroma coming out of the kitchen is pretty good. Is that roast beef or something? Oh yeah, it's yeah, we killed the cow and we're roasting it. So he's sitting there, so that's perfect, just bring that to me. And so she brings him over the ale first, and then he's drinking it and watching everybody. He's feeling really good. He's been on the road for a long time. It's been a very long year and a half. Things are much better than they have been, but they're still not that good. And he's just, he needed some time with people. Being alone is great and all, but every once in a while you just got to have that contact, and this is that moment. He needed the contact. So as he passed through this village, he smelled the food, heard the music, and thought, okay, one night. And so he went in there, found himself a place, and he was enjoying himself. The ale was good. The serving girl brought him a platter of sliced beef, red, juicy, some vegetables along with it. It was just the best meal he'd had in far too long. Because when you're on the road, meals aren't that great. I mean, yeah, he's not starving, but it's nice to have someone else just cooking for a while. And as he's sitting there, he's just sitting back, and he's just really enjoying the evening, when the front door opens up, and 8 people walk in. 8 guys, mid-20s to 30s, and the music grows subdued, talking quiets as they came in. And the one in front, he looked kind of mean, rough stuff, drenched, and just absolutely, all of them were completely drenched. Well, they wore their weather clothes, but still, they were soaked. And so they stood there, and they were looking around the room for a minute, and then they spy that kid sitting in the corner. And the leader says, nods to his buddies and says, let's go. And they head over to the table where that kid's at. He says, hey, the leader says, you're in my seat, get up. And the kid goes, I would just as soon stay. I'm very comfortable, very relaxed. I won't be here much longer. And then you can have the table when I leave. And the guy says, you don't understand me. This is our table. You got to get up now, or we'll make you get up. And at that point, it's total silence in there. Everyone's watching the corner, watching what's going on with this kid. And everybody knows this kid's about ready to get a beating because these guys, they don't mess around. Everyone doesn't like them. They're kind of like the local mafia or whatever. And toughs, you know. Nobody wants to mess with them because there's 8 of them and there's not that many people in there in the village. And they kind of like run things. And what they want, they tend to get. Well, they want that table and they want that kid to get up. He won't do it. So the leader comes around to him and grabs him by the collar and says, "If you don't get up, we're gonna take you outside and we're gonna kill you." And the kid goes, "I really don't like to be touched. Please let go." And the guy turns to his buddies. Get this, he doesn't like to be touched. Then he turns back to the kid and pulls him up out and says, "Well, I'm touching you, right?" Snap! Every finger in that guy's hands is broke. He reels backwards. Pain erupts out of his hand like nobody's business. Everyone's in awe as to what happened. The kid didn't move, but all of a sudden, this guy has let go of the kid and stumbling backwards, holding his hand, crying out in pain, you know, just groaning. And he goes, "Get him!" And his buddies, his 7 buddies, turn on this kid, and they rush him. Well, stories about this night have been told many times, but the one thing they can agree on, the kid never moved. And as those guys got closer, snap, 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 they started falling in pain. Bones were breaking left and right. And in a matter of no time, the guys were on the ground. Every one of them couldn't move because they had broken bones. But the kid never moved. His hands were on the table. He never moved. And he sat there. He looked around the room. And then he continued eating his roast beef. And he looked down at the leader and said, "I told you I don't want to be touched." And the leader's writhing in pain, and some people come and help these guys, and eventually they leave, and the leader just glares at this kid like, "We're going to kill you." Anyway, the kid finishes his meal. It doesn't quite get back up to the merriment that it was, but after a while, when they realized nothing else was going to happen, whispers turned into murmurs, murmurs turned into, regular talking. The music came back up a little bit, but everybody kept watching this kid. What else would he do, right? He took down these guys, but he didn't move. How did he do it? Nobody knew. So the kid just sighs. He finishes his meal, realizes there's no point in staying anymore because the night's been ruined. And he gets up, grabs his staff, and he doesn't have a bag. He just has this big cloak, and he walks out. Everyone gets quiet, and they all watch him leave. He walks out the front door and enters the rain. He doesn't get wet. He doesn't have an umbrella. He doesn't, nothing. He's just not getting wet. And he walks down the middle of the street and heading north out of town. Well, all of a sudden, the leader shows up. Apparently, 2 of his other guys were still, though they had broken bones, they were still able to move. One of them had a crossbow, fired it at the kid. The crossbow bolt never hit it. It hit the mud behind the kid. The kid looked over to him and says, "You need to leave me alone. Go away. I don't want to hurt you." And the leader says, "We're going to kill you, kid." At which point, the leader, in his unbroken hand, had a sword, running towards the kid who was going to kill him, right? And the other, and the guy with the crossbow was winding him back up to fire, and the third guy had a sword as well, and they were rushing him. The next morning, when the townfolk when it got light, they found these 3 guys broken and dead on the ground. No one knows how it happened, but necks were broken, arms were broken, legs were broken, and skulls were cracked in half. Of the kid, there was no sign. The kid had departed, and they were wondering who that kid was. Stories grew of that kid, and the more people thought about the kid, the less they really knew what they knew of the kid. And so that kid is still out there, still trying to find a home. He'll find a home eventually. And that's the story. Not too long today, but yeah. If you liked it, like it, comment if you have questions. The kid will return in future stories. I should write a book about him, but I need to get other stuff done before I die. And I'm working on it. Relic of the Ancients is almost complete. So that'll be coming out pretty shortly. I'm hoping in August. I'm really hoping in August. Anyway, y'all take care, and I'll come back with another one. Is this one rate how well I did? Was it interesting? Did it keep your attention? Am I dry as dirt? Do I need to make it more exciting? Let me know. Y'all take care.